Kobe, have you ever heard of this lullaby? Wrinkle, wrinkle, little star. I hope they never see the scars. It's the lullaby you tell people in hospice.
No, Barry, I don't think I've ever heard
What- What's going on, guys? My name is Barry,
that. This is Colby.
and this is the Who Watches This podcast. Why did that seem longer? Oh, I'm a mess today. That's your part. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the third week of Surreal Month, and I feel like we got a classic for you.
Oh yeah, totally.
Did you, Colby?
See this in the theater?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have no clue why I've seen this movie so many times as a kid. It's like they always had it like on Sunday night, like movie nights. It's like
Okay.
one of the movies they have on a 12-month rotation.
Because it's an adult movie, but it's goofy enough that it's still kid friendly.
100%, yeah. It like if I remember watching this as a kid and not really understanding it,
Okay.
and so finally like rewatching it for this month's theme, I was like, oh, okay, this is like Mean Girls, but for old women. And not even that much older. I mean, geez, like, well, here, like, I don't want to say any of the actresses' names because I feel like it's gonna give it away.
Right. Not until you
For
Dr. Seuss it up.
yeah, it'll give it away for the older people that listen to us. All right. Rhymefest trailer. Uh, Helen meets up with an old friend with her current flame. Madeline takes away everything from Helen without a shame. Ernest is a horn dog who thinks with his head. Not the right one, but he's a dummy who's got bread. Money. Unresolved issues unresolved issues burn like a torch rather than a cinder. We'll see who comes out in top in 1992's Death Becomes Her. I don't know. I was like, I don't know how to end this one. Oh, even making the trailer, I was like, oh, this is gonna be sort of difficult for me.
No, that works.
Yeah.
Her, Cinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I had to like Eminem stretch it out, but I forgot. I shouldn't have forgotten because at the end of Cinder, I put two R's. I was like, oh, to let me know to stretch it out. Cinder. Her.
Giving yourself a hint.
A hint that I didn't remember. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the 1992 film Death Becomes Her, starring some heavyweights. We have Bruce Willis, one, Meryl Streep, and Goldie Hawn.
Right. Like three huge
Names
for that time.
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta say, like, ever since I saw Kramer versus Kramer, I was like, Meryl Streep is hot. And then, like, even in this one, like, I was like, she's hot. She's hot right now. She's like and she's like one of those people that kind of just let herself age pretty normally.
Pretty naturally, yeah.
Yeah, and she's still hot. I'd break that hip if she asked. Goldie Hawn was more like wasn't she more like TV famous? Or did she have like a decent amount of movies?
She had movies too.
Mm-hmm.
Private Benjamin, Overboard.
So like comedies.
Comedies, yeah, all comedies.
Yeah, and
she was in Foul Play with Chevy Chase, First Wives Club, Wildcats, where it was like a football movie where
Yeah.
She was like the team manager or something.
So Meryl's like, so you're saying Meryl Streep, who I feel like was like the biggest star as far as like, I mean, like I know Die Hard came out '92,
Right.
but Meryl Streep was like the big name,
Yes.
and she
Yeah.
was like the one with like the most range as far as like different type of movies,
Right.
and she was slumming it in this one.
Right. I feel Bruce Willis was like starting his arc up
Yeah.
in this movie.
But so like before we get into like actually talking about this movie or like the plot of this movie, Kobe, like tell like why did you watch this in theaters?
I used to watch a TV show called Moonlighting, and that had Bruce Willis before he became famous anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so like I was always a big fan of him from that show. So I always kind of like as movies started coming out, I would. And this is much more like him from that show than Die Hard. Die Hard is much, even though he's like quirky, makes jokes.
Yeah.
It's a much more serious action movie where it was like a little bit of a surprise after I was like a big fan of him in Moonlighting. I was like, oh, he's doing an action movies?
So like
what?
the transition.
Yeah.
So the transition from like a very comedic sort of, was he a timid character in Moonlighting?
He was kind of the playboy goofball. It was like a law office. It was him and Sybil Shepherd, and she was the serious, and he was the.
Oh, he was like the cavalier, like lawyer guy.
Yeah,
He's
but like the oversexed like pervert,
Yeah.
you know.
Of
But
the
there was
80s.
always like a sexual tension between the two of them, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So it's like a will they, won't they?
Right. He was like the Sam Malone on like Cheers,
Okay.
like that kind of.
So like for you, watching him transition from like that type of character to like huge action star, you're like, oh, he could do it.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But do you feel like Bruce Willis, becoming a bona fide action star, kind of like pigeonholed him into that category until like The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like once he did the comedy, and then he was like stretched out, and he did the action, and then they were like, oh, you're good at this.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the everyman kind of action star. Like people can't necessarily relate to Arnold and Sylvester Stallone because they're all jacked up and they're like superhuman almost.
Yeah.
You're like, because that was kind of like that beginning of we want our action stars to look like real people. And it was like Bruce Willis just sort of getting like, Jet Li,
Are you saying Jet Li looks like he could have brought you your takeout?
he wasn't all jacked up. Like if you didn't know he knew martial arts, you would have like,
I could take that guy.
messed with him on the bus.
Oh man. But but here let's actually get into this movie before we talk about. I looked up some history, some little historical facts of this. So, but yeah, this movie starts off with we get introduced very briefly to Goldie Hawn, who is Helen, and Ernest, and they're at a play, or they're going to a play for a friend of Helen, who is Madeline, who plays a like sort of like not an aging actress, because she was pretty young at the beginning of this movie. She was like the main portion of the movie starts 14 years later, but she was kind of like falling out of popularity, right?
Because they kind of make the joke where like you start off as an actress, you're like the sex symbol, and then you're the mom, and then like you're the grandma, and then it's like, but there's like nothing
in between.
Right. As you get older, you're no longer the sex symbol. You have to be the mom.
Yeah, you can't be like cool aunt.
Right. And then once you get a little bit older than that, then you have to be the grandma, the old lady.
And so as they're kind of walking into this like Broadway or off Broadway theater, you can hear patrons like, "Oh my gosh, she's like too old to be doing this stuff,"
I,
right?
yep.
Uh, but like they watch it and you could see like Helen's like a little bit bored, but Ernest is like enamored with her.
Oh yeah, totally.
She's like, oh, she's so good at acting. And so like
And at that point, Goldie Hawn is very mousy looking. She's very plain Jane.
yeah, it's very Michelle Pfeiffer before she became Catwoman.
Right. And Bruce Willis is an up and coming,
Plastic surgeon.
well, like yeah, Beverly Hills plastic surgeon.
And so, Madeline is like seeing dollar signs, and Helen is trying to, and she's an aspiring writer. And so
Right.
she's like, oh, this will be sort of like, Ernest can make money while I try to be a novelist.
Right. Yep.
And so, yeah, after the theater, they all meet each other. And Madeline is like, still very, like a very sexy woman. It's just, she's like in her 30s, I guess. Which,
Right.
like, I'm not going to be like, oh, 30s is so old. No, 30s is,
But
you know?
36, I think she was supposed to be when they first met.
Yeah. And so, like, Ernest is, like, pretty enamored with her because she's still, like, that actress. She's still Madeline, the actress.
Yeah.
And so Helen is, like, kind of going on this downward spiral. She's like, no, you don't understand. Like, Mads always does this. She takes everything that's mine. Every guy that I've ever dated, she's always seduced. And
Right. So this was the test.
yeah, the Madeline test.
The Madeline test. If you could meet her and reject her for me, then I know that you're the one.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, don't worry, baby. We're it's not gonna happen. It'll be fine. And she's doing like, I think she has like this nervous tick where she like grabs like a towel and she kind of like twists it in her hand, and he tries to reassure her, like, yeah, nothing's gonna happen, baby.
Right. I have no interest in her at all.
And then it cuts to the next scene. He's getting married to her. They're like
Yeah.
running down the aisle, and she's like she's coming down the stairs, and she's like holding that paper towel and holding it so hard that she actually bleeds. And you just like feel bad because like you've seen like these type of situations. You've seen these friendships
Oh,
kind
right,
of like
yeah.
happen. I feel like it happens more with women than it does with men.
Right. And it is, I feel like it's much more of a high school, college thing. It's
Yeah.
you hope you outgrow that.
Yeah, but
But-
it's never resolved. A lot of unresolved issues in this movie. And so we fast forward to 7 years later, and Helen is so fat. She's so fat,
And she's the cat lady. She's got cats, a bunch of cats in her apartment.
and she's watching this movie of Madeline where she gets murdered.
Right.
While she's watching this, like, the SWAT is there trying to remove her from the property because she's like 6 months behind on rent.
Trying to evict her. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so when they finally do, and like as like they're moving her, she keeps rewinding it to the scene where like she or Madeline gets murdered, and she's like, "Yeah, kill that bitch." But she ends up in a psych ward, and you don't know how much time really passes, but like they're like at a group therapy,
Yeah.
and Helen's like, "Madeline," and everyone's like, "Oh my god."
Not again.
I know, they're like, we're crazy, but we're getting more crazy because you keep talking about the same issue. And so the therapist like does a little one-on-one with her, and she's like, you're never going to get over this until this Madeline situation is gone. And she's like,
Right.
what? It's like, you're never going to get, she repeats it. She's like, yes, that's all I do have to do is make sure Madeline is gone. And then we fast forward 70 more years later, And
Right.
we catch up with Madeline and Ernest, who are now just roommates.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Now she's 50.
Yeah,
She's still an actress. She's still a star, but she's much more aged.
yeah.
She's trying to be very vain, and like she does all the every procedure you could do to like to
Stay young.
stay young looking.
Yeah,
And now Bruce Willis is like he's an alcoholic. He's lost most of his hair. He's bitter.
well, it's because like he's bitter because like he has hand tremors,
Yeah,
which unfortunately, if you have hand tremors, you can't like operate on live people. So now he is a like a remodeling mortician.
the mortician to the stars.
Yeah, which I mean, it still gets him money, but it's a far cry from what he originally like rose to like plastic surgeon
Right.
stardom. And so but these two don't get along. They're not sleeping in the same bed. Ernest is like waking up passed out drunk, and the maid is like doing double duty, taking care of both of these like freaking children. And they're like, okay, well, and they're talking to each other, and she's like, well, we have to go to this Helen thing. And they both kind of like, this is the one thing that kind of have like some solidarity towards, because they're like, she's probably still so fat.
Right. Yep.
I'm like,
Oh,
Jesus.
at least I'm surprised she finally finished her book. It only took her 14 years.
Right? Oh my god, uh and so like that night they go to like this the release party,
Yep.
and they're both just so they don't even like do the party together. Like Ernest is at the bar, and she gets like what's it called, one of like the patients or the bodies that he had worked on,
Mm.
one of like his like nieces or whatever comes over, talks about, oh my god, you made my uncle look so good, thank you so much, like what was the secret? And he's like, body paint. She's like,
Yeah, latex paint.
yeah. She's like, oh my god. she's and she's so like disgusted with it. And then meanwhile, Madeline is like with her like little social group, and they're talking about like the new hot young things that are out. And Madeline's kind of like, she feels kind of on the outs of this situation now. Like she's not like the center of attention anymore. She's just, oh, there's
Right.
Madeline. What mom role are you going to do it again? The passive aggressiveness, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, like, they finally meet up together, and they're like, oh, "Can we just go?" And she's like, "No, we have to say hi to Fat Helen." They do that rich people laugh that rich people do.
Right.
And
Yep.
so they see like the center of attention, and they see a woman who has Helen's hair and body, and they're like, "Oh, there she is! Oh, how could you miss her?" But then that body moves aside, and we see Helen looking like a petite version of Jessica Rabbit, right? She has like the floofy
Right.
hair, she has
Yep.
the red dress, her skin looks amazing, and Madeline's friends like, oh my god, that's Helen. She looks amazing. And so yeah, like they're like, oh, they come up to her and they're like, oh hi, oh my god, and and like Helen plays it up like she was like, I haven't been thinking about this day for the last 14 years. And Helen and Madeline sort of have like a moment. She's like, I don't blame you. Like if he could have been taken, that he was never mine to begin with, type of
Right.
situation,
Right.
and
Yeah. It's not you. It's him.
yeah, and Helen and Madeline is taking it all in, but she is absolutely devastated by how amazing Helen looks.
Yeah.
And Helen had come out with what is it, like a beauty book or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-help or self-care book, and so she's like upset, right? But then all of a sudden she sees Helen walk away with Ernest, and she sneaks up there and she's like, oh, Madeline is such a slut. I don't blame you. I looked so frumpy back in the day, and I just wasn't taking care of myself, and I wasn't the woman that you wanted me to be.
Right. And I don't blame you. It wasn't you. It was all her.
She,
It's just the opposite, as she was saying.
and so Helen, and like it's funny, right? Because like I think like I don't remember when the situation. It's probably the day after. Like she goes to like the beauty place that she goes to, and like we see some like strange thing like in one of the doors, like some guy's like getting a weird transfusion.
Right.
Like
Yep.
he's like in one of those like contraptions that like hoist you upside down or something. I don't know. And so she goes in there and she's like, I need you to do this procedure. She's like, Madame, sorry, we can't. You have to wait 6 months. It's only been 3 weeks. And she's like, you don't understand it, you 24-year-old with your perky tits.
Perfect breasts. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, there's like all of a sudden a guy sitting there and he's like, Madeline, if you want to go somewhere a little bit under the books, here you go.
Yep.
And so she's like, I don't know. And meanwhile, Ernest is like, oh my God, Helen. Helen sneaks over to their house. And they kind of like, they do a little mess around. Oh, no. Helen doesn't, not yet. Because Madeline goes back home, but then she like packs up like a bag, like a what's it called, a weekend bag.
Mm-hmm.
And she, oh, no, she does. I get it mixed up. But like, okay, so like one situation, Helen sneaks into like Ernest's home, and they kind of concoct a plan to kill Madeline, right? And they kind of make out for a little bit
because he's like, oh my God, she's been so horrible. She's a monster. I can't believe that I ever left her for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna divorce her. And then
Helen's like, she'll take half.
Helen's like, yeah, right. Yeah, you can't divorce her. Here, we live in California. She's going to rake you through the coals.
Yeah, meanwhile, Madeline, she like kind of sneaks away to go see her little plaything, her little pool boy.
Right.
Unfortunately, she's like, she shows up unannounced and he's having relations with a woman his age. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do, man? Like, when we go out, people think you're my mom. And so, like, Madeline, like, obviously super distraught. Meanwhile, Helen and Ernest are plotting to murder her. She goes to the business card address.
Right. Yeah, she feels like there's no other option.
She's like, oh, my God. And so she meets up with, Isabella Rossellini, I think is her name.
Yep.
Pretty big, like, was a foreign actress back in the day.
Yeah.
Super international, as Friends had put it.
Right. She got a nomination.
Yeah. And she meets up. She's like, and Isabella comes there with, like, a jeweled shirt with, like, her titties hanging out. Not like, they're not exposed, but, like, it's like, one swift movement and the titty's going to pop out.
Right. I was at the age where that was an amazing shirt.
Yeah. And she's talking to Madeline, and she's like, oh, I have something for you. And she pulls out like this, I don't know, it looks like a freaking sarcophagus looking thing, and it pulls out this potion.
Yep.
And she sets it like on the table, and I don't know what the physics of this is, because it's like it's set on a point. And at first Madeline is like, oh, I don't know, like Isabella Rossellini does like make a comment like, oh yeah, like she makes a slight comment where it would hint that Helen might have taken this, and that's why she looks so good. It's a super slight comment. Yeah.
Right. And she's like the doctor said, from the clinic said that you said money was no object.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, no, money is no object. It's just like, is this amount acceptable? And she writes it down, and we don't get to see it.
Yeah.
She writes it down and holds it up, and she's like, no.
Double it. Go back there and double it. That's probably like $1 million. $1 million in 1992 was a lot, right?
Right.
And at first, like, Madeline's like, I don't know. But then she does like a little demonstration. She pokes her like finger, makes it bleed a
Yep.
little bit, and then she puts some of the potion on there. And then she looks at her hand, and it smooths over. It looks like a 21-year-old's hand. I
Yeah.
don't know what hands look like. If you're a hand serial murderer, email us. Just kidding. Um, yeah, and then she looks at her other hand and has like liver spots and stuff like that, like
Right. Yeah.
sunspot.
Yeah.
Like, babe, just you gotta wear sunscreen, you know. And she's like, oh my god. And so she takes it. She's like, after she takes it, she's like, Isabella Rosalina is like, just a warning. And she's like, after I've taken it, which I love, like those little comedic bits.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
it's
Yeah.
it's like observational funny. It's so funny. And then, but she's like, after 10 years, you must disappear, or elsewise other people will think something is amiss. And also, take good care of your body.
Right. Yeah. In 10 years, you have to retire and disappear,
Yeah.
or step out of the spotlight, or fake your own death. But you just have to.
You have to go.
Yeah.
And so like as she's like walking out, she like looks in the mirror and everything tightens up. Like her cheeks get back up there, her breasts like pull in.
Her face smooths out. Her neck
face.
smooths out.
Oh, hot. Super hot Meryl Streep. I wonder if she has a daughter. But yeah, and so like as like she gets home, Helen leaves after they've plotted her murder. And Helen gets in there, and she's like, "All right, well, she's gonna bounce." I think she's trying to take clothes and try to go back to the pool boy's house and be like, "Look how hot I look now. I don't look old at all." But like, as she does that, she's like leaving the house. She's berating Ernest.
Oh, totally.
She's like, "You're a limp dick motherfucker."
Right.
Whose hands don't even work and can't make me come, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And Ernest is like, I've had enough of you, and I don't know why I've put up with you for the last 10 years. I should have left. And yeah, it's a not balls to the wall, knockout, drag down.
Yeah, argument. But
Yeah.
then, like in the middle of the argument, Helen is like almost gonna fall off the thing, off the
Down the
spiral
stairs, yeah.
staircase, and she's like, "Help me!" It's like it's a comical little like whoa type of
right.
situation, and like Ernest is about to do it, but she's like, "Hurry up, you idiot!" And he like, "Nah, fuck that," and like pokes her a little bit, and she falls super mangled.
Oh, yeah.
And Ernest is like, "Oh my god, oh shit, oh shit." So he calls Helen, and he's like, "I did it, baby, I did it, I killed her." And she's like, "That wasn't a part of the plan at all, you idiot."
Right. And she's like, did you already call the police? And he's like, no. And she's like, oh, so the police are going to look at the phone records and see the first person you called was me after she died? That's bad.
Yeah, but like,
and he's like, oh no, it's you can't tell the exact time of death within a couple hours. I know that from being a surgeon. So
yeah. But like as they're like kind of talking, she's like formulating a plan. She's like, "All right, well, you were talking to me, and then she fell down the stairs. That's gonna be the situation." But as she does that, Helen is like reconstructing her body, and her head is like turned all the way backwards. And she's like, "I'm gonna call the fucking police." And he's like, "You can't call them looking like that." She's like walking around like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with her stuff all backwards. She's like, "Oh my god!" So she like twists her body around.
Yeah, because she's like, "This is my ass. Why can't I see my ass?"
So she like turns her like head around, but then like I believe her clavicle is sort of sticking out of her neck, or like poking against the skin. He's like, "Oh fuck, we gotta go to the hospital." Jesus Christ, this is a miracle. And so when they get to the hospital, the doctor's like, "You're dead. You know, your pulse is gone, your heart rate is gone, you're 60 degrees."
You're right.
And he takes a swig off of like Ernest's like flask, and then like she kind of faints because it's a realization that she's dead. And Ernest
Yes.
like goes out there looking for the doctor. He's had a heart attack because he's seen a zombie. And then when he gets back to the room, she's in the morgue,
Right.
and
Yeah,
she's like,
because she's got no pulse, and a nurse walked in and was like, "Oh, she fainted. She must be dead."
yeah, she's like, she has no pulse, dead. Um, so he gets her out of there, but she's looking really gray.
Yeah.
Like she's looking pale, and so he's like, "Oh my god, it's a miracle! This is amazing!" But you look so dead, baby, you know. And she's like, "We have to get home. Let's get home." And he's like, "I don't know." And but he's like, in his head, it's like, "This is a medical miracle. Like I'm gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize to discover this situation." And he
But
starts,
it's also to him like, this is the sign that I shouldn't be trying to kill you. I should be with you.
mm-hmm. And so he starts like spray painting her like one of the corpses that he works on. And so she's looking good. She has color back in her.
Right. Yep.
But Helen comes and she's like, "Where's her body? Like we have to bury her in the Sahara Desert or like the Mojave Desert and just leave her there." Meanwhile, Madeline is like hearing all of this.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "No, no, no. I don't think so." She like ends up like Ernest has a whole bunch of hunting guns in his house,
Yep. Yep.
and ends up blasting Helen. And she's like, "No, we're gonna bury that bitch in the Mojave Desert." And
Yeah, and that's the classic scene. If anybody's seen any like memes or anything of this, it's her getting blasted with the shotgun and then laying in the pond outside with the fountain outside with a hole in her chest.
and it's funny because Ernest is like, "What about the neighbors? They're gonna hear that you shot the gun." And she's like, "We've been living here for 10 years. I don't even know if we have neighbors." Which, I mean, true, like,
Right. Yeah.
you mind your own business, And then all of a sudden, Helen gets up there. She's like, "I fucking knew it, bitch. You stupid bitch. I knew you took the potion too." And they get into like this lightsaber duel with shovels.
Yeah.
Super great, like super great early on CG that holds up really well. And I know why. I know the studio that does it. And so they get into like this huge fight. They're fighting each other, but really they have all these unresolved issues, right? Helen was rich when they were in high school, and Madeline was poor. And it feels like, she's like, "You were so pretty. You kept fucking all the dudes that I was fucking." And Madeline was like, "I only did that because you thought I was poor. You, you and your posh friends always laughing behind my back because I had to get financial aid or some shit like that." So really, this is kind of the heart of the problem, Like I feel like they could have just went to therapy for this, but
right, exactly.
so like they kind of hash out their issues, their differences with each other, and Ernest is like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Right, and they also realize they're like, well, we are both basically immortal. If we just keep fighting, we can't hurt each other and we can't kill each other. So it's just going to be like a never-ending fight.
Yeah.
So we might as well, make up and figure out what we're going to do going forward.
Exactly. And so Ernest is like, "I got to get out of here. This is crazy. This is I think I've lost my mind." But they're like, "Ernest, you can't go until you fix us." And so he's like, "Fine, but this will be the last thing I do." And so he patches them up real good, with the spray paint and all that stuff.
Right.
And
plasters up the hole.
Exactly. And so they're like, "Oh my God, we look so amazing." He's like, "Well, it's a shame about Ernest. I mean, but I guess he has to leave, Yeah, he just can't be stuck with us. I mean, we can't be stuck with him. He's going to get all old." Ugh. But they're like, "Oh, wait, hold on. We need upkeep."
Right. Right, continuous upkeep.
Continuous upkeep. And yeah, I mean, yeah, he could do it for some time, but then at some point he's gonna get old and die.
Yep.
Which, this is why every immortal being needs a Renfield.
Yeah.
You just have to keep getting Renfields.
Yep.
And so they plot on Ernest. They're like, we have to get him to take the potion. And so they knock him out with like a double vase situation. At first, they kind of try to like seduce him into staying.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, Ernest, to both of us. And he's like, oh my God, the both of you.
He's a little freaked out.
And he's
Still,
also,
so
he's like, you guys are monsters. And so they double vase him. And then all of a sudden he wakes up in Isabella Rossellini's house.
Right.
And she's like, oh, here. I heard you were an amazing surgeon. So, like, Isabella seems like she's like, I need as much people, like, in this little tight-knit society that's going to be helpful. So,
Right.
like, for upkeep and all that stuff. And
Right. Yeah. I'm like, it's one thing to get the rich people, but we also need the people who can fix us. And yeah.
And so, like, the situation, it kind of, like, she's kind of working him over. She's like, look at your hand. Oh, look, no more tremors. You could become a surgeon again. You could be the star that you were meant to be. And he's like contemplating it, and he's uncorked the potion, and he's putting it to his mouth. But he's like, the moment he gets there, he has a moment of realization because she keeps talking about immortality.
Right.
And he's like, wait, hold on. No, that sucks. It sucks. I'm going to watch everybody I love die. I'm going to outlive everybody. And
yeah, and if I live forever, who am I going to hang out with? Helen and Madeline?
Oh. He's like, this is the ultimate, like, ex-wives club situation. Like, oh my God. Oh. And so he kind of thwarts her off of him and kind of mixes into the party. And like, they're having like this whole banquet where like a whole bunch of rich socialites are there. And he's probably figured out like, oh my God, these are all immortal beings.
Right.
And so he kind of just has to get out of there. He's running all over the place, trying to get away from this whole situation. For some reason, at the top of this tower, it has north exit. And so he tries to climb he tries to climb the roof, ends up falling onto like one of the rain gutters. And Madeline and Helen are like, oh my God, do you have the potion still? Do you have the potion? You have to take it or else you're going to die. And he's like,
yeah, we can't save you. It's raining out. You're going to fall and die. And take the potion. And that way, at least when you hit the ground, you're still alive.
Yeah. And he's almost kind of convinced. And then Madeline does Madeline. She's like, oh my God, just take it, you idiot. And he's like, nah, and be stuck with the both of you. Fuck that. So he drops the potion. And he's like, fuck it. This is where I'm going to die. This is where I'm going to die.
Yep.
But he ends up on the pool that Isabella Rossellini frequents. And he ends up escaping this whole situation. She's like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then we cut forward 34 years later. And it is the priest is giving a eulogy to Ernest, who has, after 50 lived a really fulfilled life. He's like, Ernest, he helped children. He got remarried and had kids and had grandkids and really
adopted kids.
Yeah, adopted kids. And meanwhile, Helen and Madeline are in the back.
A women's shelter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Helen and Madeline are in the back, like snickering about this whole situation, and they're like, as they try to leave, the priest is like, Ernest had found the real way to live immortal, or he found the truth to immortality, and it is with his seed. His kids and his grandkids will remember him and carry on his memory, and they're like, bullshit. And meanwhile, like, Madeline and Helen have sort of been bickering like the old puppets from the Sesame Street.
Oh yes.
Absolutely hate that they're still in each other's lives, but they're all each other has to depend on. And as they get out, like Madeline is like, "How the fuck did you lose?" Or no, Helen is like yelling at Madeline, "How did you lose a whole spray paint, you idiot?" And then this whole portion mirrors what happened to Madeline early on, where she falls onto the spray paint that they had carried,
Yeah.
and she's like,
On
"Help
the stairs
me!"
out
Yeah,
in front of the church.
and she's like, "Help me, Madeline, you moron!" And she also pushes like Helen, but as she pushes Helen, Helen grabs onto her, and they both fall down the stairs, and they
Yep.
break like fucking the putties from Power Rangers.
And this whole time, you could see their faces, but they're wearing like a black veil, like for the funeral, so you can't see any real detail.
Yeah, but they look bad.
Yeah.
Because with the, I feel like after 34 years of practice, they've should have gotten better at it, right? Like
You would think.
yeah, but they didn't. They absolutely didn't. And as they're just talking heads now. They're like, "Do you remember where
Right,
we
'cause-
parked?"
Yep.
Yeah, their bodies broke apart. And the last sentence of the movie is like, "Do you remember where we parked?" I don't know. And the movie ends there. All right. Before we get into our thoughts about this movie, Colby, let's go into our other section: high star, low star.
10 out of 10. Still one of the most original comedies ever. The cast is perfect. The acting deserves Golden Globes all around. Every line is delivered perfectly, and every expression is just right. Goldie, Meryl, and Bruce are all perfect. Meryl's best comedy ever. Goldie is so funny. One of the first fat suit uses. In fact, it's Bruce's best comedic role. He is unrecognizable. Dark comedy is so unique, and right on plastic surgery, commentary on the obsession with youthful looks is spot on. It's really funny too. Special effects still outstanding, even by today's standard. Isabella Rossellini is also very effective in her small role. Every time I see this movie over all the years, it's still funny and still delightful. A must-see classic.
And I got a 1 out of 10. How on earth did this movie get a 5.6 from other users? I have no idea. 5.6 is too high for this guy. It is quite possibly the biggest waste of talent in history of cinema. When your cast includes Bruce Willis, Isabella Rossellini, Meryl Streep, and Goldie Hawn, you would think the results would be halfway decent, but no such luck. The entire movie is filled with scenes that simply make you shake your head because the scenes that are supposed to be funny are just downright embarrassing while the rest is just filler. 10 years ago, I made the huge mistake of going to see this in the cinema, and it is the only movie where I've demanded my money back. Not even after Stop or My Mom Will Shoot or Waterworld, which by the way are both great movies, did
Right.
I do that. Which I think says it all. Man, that guy's just not a fan of cinema. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is hilarious. Was that with that was with Sylvester Stallone, right? The cover was him and like
Yes.
an old lady with a friggin' Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to look this up because I was like, man, the special effects really hold well. And it was by ILM. I should have guessed it. The same people who did Jurassic Park.
Right.
Really,
Yep.
the pioneers of good CGI. Oh, man. Colby, what are your thoughts about this movie?
Oh, I love the. I totally agree with the review I read. I loved this movie when I first saw it. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought everybody did a great job, and it's been a long time since I've seen it. I probably saw it 3 or 4 times, not all in the theater, but 3 or 4 times. back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years at least since I've seen it, and it was great nostalgia to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I actually didn't remember liking it as much as when I watched it. I was like, oh, I did. I loved this movie. It just kind of had forgotten
Oh yeah.
forgotten about it, I guess.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, you know, this movie is what at this point like 40 years old, something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of what
God.
92,
91, 30 years
93?
old.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny because like usually when we get like, I think really the underlying issue of this movie is like the complexity of female relationships. Ernest, you know, what's it called? It's funny. I think the other people they had slotted to play Bruce Willis's role was like Nick Nolte. I feel like it would have been a completely different movie.
Totally, yeah.
And I think there was another one. I forgot who it was though. But he's kind. His character is kind of not a throwaway, but he's really like a supporting. It feels more like a very supporting character versus like
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep, and you know, it's really like they just had a lot of underlying issues that never got addressed, like which you know the movies that we've seen has always been on more the younger generation with the female, like with their, you know, the complexity of the female relationship. And so you know, there's been a couple, like I feel like there's that one movie with Susan Sarandon and Jamie Lee Curtis where like their kids were getting married and they hated each other,
Oh, yeah.
but they were friends. They're like frenemies. And so it's nice to see like another iteration of that because their whole issue is just like, you know, one was like she hated that she was poor and she hated the fact that her friends were like, yeah, you're poor.
Right. So she had to outdo them and then take what they had so that
Yeah, she's
she
like,
could prove.
yeah, I don't care how poor I am. I could take whatever you have, you know? And Helen is like the character that's like, yeah, she's rich, but then she wasn't as pretty.
Right.
And like, you know, they kind of have like that very complicated relationship versus like I feel like dudes will just fight each other and then be friends after that. We're like, whew, glad we got that out of our system.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I have friends like that where we were friends and then we were enemies and then like we got in a fight and and then like afterwards we were like, why were we fighting?
yeah, they're like, well, that was dumb.
Let's go get a pizza.
Yeah, you know, busted lip and a black eye, but let's go get some hot pizza. Yeah, you know, it's so funny how like I feel like because like guys like relationships are very A to B.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know, like when we confide in each other, unless it's like we always preface like, oh, I need somebody to talk to, which is like also like now I feel like it's becoming more and more okay that like guys are trying to be more emotionally healthy with each other.
Right.
But like before it was like it felt like a task. You're like, oh man, I really need to talk to somebody, but there's nobody to talk to. And then you like psych yourself out from talking to your friends. Are like, oh, I don't want to bum them out, you know. And you know, and then like, especially if you have like issues inside the circle, and then you just fight, and then when you guys are like both like lying on the grass after fighting, you kind of just laugh about it. And then you're like, after physically assaulting each other, you're like, my bad.
Right. It's the express emotion by like blowing off some steam.
Yeah, but like it's so aggressive versus, you know, like with like in this situation, they've been so passive aggressive with each other for so long that the issues never resolved each other. And it's so funny that at the end they had to stay together.
Yeah.
Like, did you like? And you know, like I think this is like one of those like movies that you could absolutely remake today.
They actually
Have a musical, right?
they have a musical, but I guess about 10 years ago, they had scripted up and put on like on the drawing board. They were going to try to make a series, like a
Okay.
Showtime series or
Yeah.
whatever, and it never really.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a daunting task to do like a 12 episode series versus
right.
like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so like if you could cast 2 actresses to play Helen and Madeline, who would you cast?
And like if they remade it now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cuz I have like, so my 2 was was going to be Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson.
Okay.
Which, you know, like you can kind of interchange who's gonna be who, but they're like, you know, they're actresses like in their 40s,
Right.
and you can I feel like you can kind of remake that with those 2 in there. I don't know who's gonna play Ernest. I feel like you can kind of put anybody in that situation, but you have to do like the Bruce Willis way. Like he has to be like an everyday guy.
Right, like a Paul Rudd, something.
Oh, Paul Rudd would be perfect in this role. Did you see he remade his Nintendo commercial?
No.
Yeah, because I remember he was the glove guy.
Yeah.
And so the Nintendo 2 came out, and he was like, he did it again. I was like, that's amazing. I mean, kind of a shit product because of like all the contingencies with the Switch 2, but really awesome for people our age. They're like, oh, he's doing the commercial again.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Do you have anyone in mind? I know I sprung this on you.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. We'll repost the question in one of our socials.
Oh, okay.
When we post this movie,
Yeah.
That way everybody can make comments in there.
Exactly right. But we're coming into our hour, so I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our months down below, where we have a lot of specific theme months, where we have actors, actresses, director recommended. We have our holiday months. We got a ton out there for you, so there's definitely something down there for you. We do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
I love this movie. I would go Blu-ray. I would have to skip the DVD because apparently when the DVD got released, it was a direct pull off the Laserdisc, but the formatting didn't work. So there was a lot of complaints when this went from VHS to DVD that it was grainier in DVD than it was on VHS, and people were very upset. But then it got digitally remastered when I went to Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I think they've also fixed the DVD since then. But
yeah, I think I would go DVD as well. Like the only real one complaint I have about this movie is like, and the one thing I do agree from the 1 out of 10 is I feel like they could have filled the spaces a little bit better. Like some of the scenes kind of feel like filler, and like just very slightly feel like filler. And so I feel like if you put like more meaningful scenes, like maybe, I hate to say like flashback, but you can kind of flesh out the relationship between the two of them.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally. If there was a series, then you would have an episode or 2 episodes of them hating each other in high school or wherever it was.
Yeah, like it would be like the first like 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then you can really understand why their relationship is the way that it is. But like, you know, back in the 90s, you're like, figure it out, dummy. You could read between the lines. You can understand the context.
Right. Yep.
Oh, man. But yeah, want to thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our links down below.
Yeah, we get all of our socials, our Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We're doing our best to try to stay as active on all those things as we can.
I know, I gotta try harder.
We have busy lives, so it's hard to
Yeah.
stay on top of it. But we always, every time there's a new episode drops, we always post that and share the links and stuff.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Oh, thank you.